Welcome back, car people. I hope you're all keeping well. Looking forward to Christmas. So probably what's going to be my last video of the year, the December forecourt roundup, and it's been a great month. So here we're all popping on screen the sales, as I tell you. So sold the Aston Martin Vantage to a lovely guy called Jeremy. He collected that directly from the Aston Martin service. Sold the Porsche Boxster, which came in part exchange against the Mercedes GTC. Lovely guy came down from Harrogate in Yorkshire, snapped that up. Sold that cute little Volvo V40 to a lovely girl from Kettering. She popped in with her father and drove that away. Sold the Nissan Qashqai to a local couple. Sold the Renault Scenic. You didn't even see that make the channel. It went on Auto Trader and sold within 24 hours to a gentleman from Storrington in Sussex. The Audi A4 is out for delivery on Boxing Day. The Ford Focus RS I have an appointment on, and the DB9 Volante also under offer and finance going through. So a fabulous month. All I've got left is this array of Range Rover Evokes. I love an Evoque. Actually, to be fair, this Byron Blue one on the end isn't for sale. That's my daughter's car, but I thought it looked good in the lineup. We've got this beautiful Firenze Red 1868, 13,000 mile car, one private owner, fabulous condition car, and this Indus Silver 2020 newer shape D180 HSE Dynamic. Both of them are really good value for money. This red one a little over 20,000. This silver one a couple of £1,000 more. It's higher mileage, done 40,000 miles, but an exceptional example. And if anyone wants to relieve me of them before the 29th of December, I'll give you an 18-month warranty. So all that remains is for me to thank everyone for watching the channel, for subscribing, liking, commenting and sharing. That's all really helpful for growing the algorithm and helping me get to my next goal of 2,000 subscribers. Thanks also to all my customers, past and present, for those buying or selling. And remember, I've got my buying boots on always, so you can always contact me and get an offer as long as it's a nice car. So I'm going to conclude the video here. I want to give you my thoughts on 2025, but we're going to go inside and sit in the warm and have a chat about that. So up to this point, if you're leaving, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So you've had a great year, Kevin. Everything you get, you seem to sell. Do you ever lose money on cars?
Actually, I do really well with whatever I get. I'm very motivated and I find a way out of everything at a profit or money back usually. The only car I really lost any money on, I did a story about this. Was it this year or last year? I've forgotten that. It was last year that I lost the money, but that Tesla, the P90D Ludicrous, which I lost over £16,000 on, that's the only car I've lost money on in real terms. But interesting that you asked that question, because I was watching a YouTube video the other day about the worst performing cars in 2024, and they're all electric or hybrid cars. I made a note of it. The first one on the list was the Jeep Compass hybrid. Never seen one on the road. Number two was the Kia Stonic. The Kia Stonic is quite an attractive looking car, but I don't think I've seen very many of them. Certainly haven't seen any of these. The Peugeot Rifter Electric. Who's buying them? Number four on the list was the Volvo C40 Electric. Number five, the Vauxhall Vivaro. Number six, even can't say this one, SsangYong Corando. You know, if you can say it correctly, you're entitled to buy it. Number seven was the Vauxhall Astra Hybrid. Number eight, the first one that I'd consider a premium car in this sector, the Maserati Levante. Number nine, the Nissan Leaf. And 10 was the Range Rover Velar Hybrid. All of those lost significant amounts of money as soon as they were driven out of the showroom, which in fact most cars have done or always do. But here's the thing, EV sales, the cost of new EVs, the list price of them, I understand, has been slashed by a third in order to get more EVs into the market. And another really odd thing, and I don't know how the manufacturers have not pushed back harder against this, or why the government are doing this to them, but I understand that anybody that's got a new petrol car on order will not receive it before April next year, because if they do, the manufacturer will be fined £15,000 per unit for delivering that car. The government only wants electric cars sold, and they're going to fine them £15,000. How on earth is the business going to survive? I think we might see a couple of manufacturers really, really struggle next year.
Kevin, have you heard about the new tax war?
It's funny you asked that, Zahira, because I've just been looking at that. That was another subject that I wanted to discuss. I cannot believe what this government is doing. This is going to get a little bit political now, but in an economy where we're supposed to be driving sales and the government is hampering manufacturers with this new showroom tax, they call it a luxury sales tax. It's just absolute nonsense, isn't it? How is that going to encourage people to buy new cars? The band goes from £10 all the way up to £5,490 on the delivery of a new car that has in excess of 255 CO2 emissions, whatever that means. The list is so extensive and exhaustive. It goes from £10 to 110 to 130, all these piddly little insignificant amounts of money, up to the most ridiculous amounts of money. And I don't see how that is going to achieve car sales when you've got that first year tax, which then goes on to the new rates of tax band from April. Now, this is interesting. Introduced on the 1st of April, so you think it's going to be an April Fool's joke, but actually it's not. Download this, the V149, and you'll see that the first license rates for cars registered on or after the 1st of April, based on CO2 emissions, is going to be from 0. So the car will occupy the same space on the road as any other car. But for the 255 gram, it's going to be £2,745 for the next 4 years. That's annual road tax. I've really got to consider the type of cars that I sell now, because that will, I'm sure, be a factor for many when purchasing their new car. £500 a year for road tax only equates to £10 a week, which in the grand scheme of car owning, it's nothing. But when it gets to be more than that, then it's really going to hurt people. And I think there's going to be a lot of people really look at what car they're going to buy. Fortunately, there are cars out there that are zero road tax, and fortunately you can also sawn your car off road. So for the likes of the people that buy some of the types of cars that I sell, and they don't use them annually, they can sawn them over winter and perhaps for 6 months and just pay road tax for the time that they use them. But it's going to be a very significant um, consideration, I think, for a lot of people going forward in 2025. While we're on the subject, I actually found a really good website. It's called cartaxcheck.co.uk, and you can check the annual tax for your vehicle just by inputting your registration number. So, very useful service. And they also offer a more enhanced check, a bit like the new websites that exist, Car Vertical and the others. This one, I believe, is cheaper. I don't know, I've not used it yet myself, so I'm not endorsing it, but I'm just saying that I found it and viewers might find it of assistance.
Do you think this will impact you selling Aston Martins?
That's a good question. Actually, no, not overall. Um, the reason for that is that people that are in the market for a car of that nature can probably afford the tax that goes with it. And as I say, the beauty of being able to sawn the car for periods of time when it's off-road, which will then reduce the cost of the road tax in itself. I actually think the brand is going to do very well next year. I've seen a lot of people coming out of DB9s, getting into DB11. Now the new DB12 is out. So there's going to be more of those cars coming to the market. I was talking to someone at Aston Martin this morning. They've got a 4-owner DB11 in stock. So that's a car that's changed hands a lot of times already within 2 years. What I do think will be really good for the brand, though, for followers of Formula One, they will know that Adrian Newey, the best and most successful Formula One designer of all time, has been lured to Aston Martin by Lawrence Stroll with the offer of multi-million pounds deal and shares in the company. And if he can do for Aston Martin what he's done for the previous Formula One teams that he's worked for, then they're going to be up front in all races, winning races. And as Henry Ford used to say, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. It can only do really good things for the brand.
So what have you got in motion for 2025?
New car wise, actually, I did try and buy a Lamborghini Gallardo. Let me send you a picture of that to pop up on screen. This looked like a fantastic value car. I loved the fact that it was a complete car with all the tools and the white gloves, the whole 9 yards. Didn't have the best service history, but it had been parked up for a long time. I agreed to purchase the car, went to view it. Unfortunately, it had a lot of electrical problems, so the sale didn't conclude at the time. If the owner can get that fixed, we'll revisit it. But for now, that was going to be coming to the forecourt. It won't be. Not disappointed because I don't think there'll be anyone in the market for that, particularly at this time of year. It's a spring type of car that people will look at purchasing that. But I have just purchased an Audi R8, and that's got a very interesting background. I'm not going to spoil the story. I'll do a video of it all on its own, but look out for a 7,000 mile Audi R8 coming to the channel very soon.